guys, it's Julia and welcome back to my channel, and for today's video I'm going to be doing a discussion video talking about buddy reads, talking about what they are, how they kind of work, also some books that I buddy read and some books that I would suggest buddy reading and all that jazz. So let's jump right into it. So first up, what is a buddy read? It's basically when you and another person get together to read a book. This can be a person online or in person. Buddy get together, read a book around the same time span, and you discuss it along the way. It's really fun to discuss books with other people. Obviously it depends on the book and the person, of course, but I think you get something interesting out of every single buddy read that you do. Exposed to different insights from like your buddy reader, and you can discuss possibly plot twists, you can discuss your favorite characters, you can discuss what, like, predicting what you think is gonna happen, what's gonna go down. If you're doing a classic or a book that's very symbolic, you can, analyze it that way and go through the symbolism that you find and all of the literary devices that you find along the way and discuss what they mean and what you think they mean and what you interpreted this line to be. These are great. They are great. The only con with them is from doing a lot of buddy reads, I used to do like 4 or 5 a month. Like, I used to be nuts with these buddy reads. I gotta be like, yes, give me all the buddy reads. But now it's a bit different because I find that if you plan buddy reads too in advance, you're excited to read it. Like, this happened to me recently. My friend Kayla and I were planning on reading Caraval, and we planned it like 3 weeks in advance, and we were both excited. By the time we got around to it, the week when we planned to read it, I just didn't feel like it. I was like, nah. And honestly, 100%, if you're not feeling a buddy read, don't go in, like, just don't do it. Because if you are like, I have to start that book, just don't start it. Just don't start it, because it's like, it's not gonna be fun anyways, and you're like, I feel kind of bad when I do that, like when sometimes someone will bail on a buddy read. That happens a lot. If the person's bailing on you before, during the buddy read, or if you bail on them before or during the buddy read, it's something that happens, and I fully understand that people are busy, or if they're not enjoying the book, or if you're not enjoying the book, you can DNF it. So that's an option, but so there's that. So they could bail on you and you could bail on them. Important to remember that, obviously readers have different tastes, they read at different speeds, and so having this reading experience with another buddy, you have to be like understanding of their situations as well and be considerate and listen to what they have to say. So that's very important. How you can have your own buddy read, again, either someone online or in person. You can find people on Bookstagram, on BookTube, on blogs to do buddy reads with. Like the one person in your life that reads, because like if you're like me, I got like one friend who reads. You can do that as well, but I will leave the comment section open to people commenting if they want to have any buddy reads, and you can reply saying if you want to buddy read something with them. So if you want, you can like comment what book you would like to buddy read or that you want to do a buddy read, and then hopefully people who are interested will see those comments and respond. So feel free to do that in the comments. Feel free to do that. I would be very pleased to know that you guys are like, coming together, doing buddy reads. It's a lot of fun. It is fun. So yeah, I want to talk about some books that I have personally buddy read. I have buddy read a lot of books, so I know I'm not going to mention every single buddy read that I've done with someone because there's a lot. But first up, I'll start with the one that I do not own at the moment, but that is The Strange and Beautiful Sorrows of Ava Lavender by Leslie Walton. I buddy read this with Sajid. This was one of the buddy reading situations where I think it only took us like a good 4 days or like 3 days to read this, which is pretty short for a buddy read because usually they extend to a week. So it was one of those books that we were both kind of like quickly going through and that we were both enjoying, and we were talking about our favorite characters and all these things that were happening. So that was I really liked that buddy read. It was like a more faster paced one, and it just went really well, and the book was really interesting to discuss. What I have here is This Savage Song by Victoria Schwab, which I buddy read with my good friend Kayla. We really enjoyed this book, and it was a lot of fun buddy reading this with her. If I remember correctly, our buddy read wasn't as structured as some buddy reads are. Like, again, your buddy read can be super structured. Like, you can have literally time set to discuss. You could have chapters per day. You could have page numbers per day. You can have, like, you can do all that stuff. Like, you can really critically organize your buddy read. Or you can be given a week, you read how much you want in that week, or you can do a month if you want, and then you guys talk at the end of that, or like when you're at a certain page point you can talk. But I remember with the Savage Song, I don't think we had like, usually my buddy reads don't have a structure like that, and I'm usually okay with that. It kind of depends on like the person I'm buddy reading with, if they're okay with that as well as what we're reading. But something like this, I think if I remember correctly, Kayla and I's buddy read was like pretty chillax, so it's always fun to have a chillax buddy read, so there's that option for you. You don't have to like schedule each day if you're not into that. But I believe I remember our buddy reads was more chillaxed, and we were kind of just fangirling about the boy in this book and talking about like the characters and plot and all that stuff along the way, but we both made videos for this as well, so that was a really fun experience. Buddy read I'm going to be talking about is my buddy read for the Bizarre Bad Dreams that I did with my in real life friend. But basically we would read a short story. This was a very chillax buddy read. We'd read a short story like whenever the hell we felt like it. Like at school we'd be like, okay, we're reading this one tonight. It's like, okay, and then we go to school the next day and we talk about it in class. So it was like one of those buddy reads that it was really interesting. Since this is a collection of short stories, we would just like pick a story every few days, read it, and discuss it in class when we were doing our work. So that was a lot of fun. That's the good thing about in-person buddy reads. So definitely if you have a person that you can do that with, that's awesome too. Now I just have a few books to mention that I think would be great buddy reads, and of course there's so many books that I would recommend for buddy reads, like just books that I love in general. I would recommend most of them as buddy reads. There's some books that you probably don't want to read with someone else. Like you're not gonna want to reread, like you're not gonna want to buddy read smut with someone, because it's like, what are you gonna talk about? The sex? That's kind of weird. Anyways, buddy read smut, you go right ahead, honey. But like, in my opinion, that's not something I would buddy read with someone. Also, fantasy is not something I love to buddy read with people as well, because usually fantasy is hard enough for me to get into, so I feel like people read fantasy a lot faster than I do, so I don't like to buddy read fantasy usually with people. I do sometimes, but not really. But yeah, so what I would suggest for buddy reading is, first here I have You by Caroline Kepnes. This one is definitely very creepy, so it's interesting buddy reading this for someone's reaction. It's about a stalker named Joe who stalks this girl and things get way out of hand, and basically I would suggest this for a buddy read because it is super creepy, it is super suspenseful, it really makes you think, and I think that is super important, and you can have a really valid discussion with someone else about stalking and predators and all that kind of jazz. So yes, along with that as well, I have Mr. Mercedes, which this can discuss how twisted the characters are and how intense the plot is and how much it develops, and that's just super fun. Like, I just love this book with all my heart. Basically, it's about a man named Brady who drives his Mercedes into a lineup of people. When the case goes unsolved, he sends a note to the retired detective saying, like, taunting him and mocking him, and he comes out of retirement to stop this guy. It's super awesome, one of my favorite books ever. I would highly recommend picking it up. Just to clarify, I do enjoy buddy reads. I'm not shading buddy reads. I would suggest doing buddy reads. I don't think it's bad if you DNF a buddy read, or if you bail on a buddy read, or if someone bails on you. All that jazz. Just you do you. We're all readers here. We're all good. But sometimes it's fun to have someone tag along with you to express all the feelings with first thing when they happen. So yeah. Anyways, I'll see you guys super soon with a new video. Bye. I've got a date.